Christopher?
What? Okay. Welcome back to Beanstalk, episode 5.
Episode 5, y'all. Happy 4th to all who care about being happy
Yeah.
4th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite holiday right there.
So this week there hasn't really been much happening in gaming or whatever, what have you, this week. So there's not going to be much to talk about, but something very important happened. SpongeBob. We talked about it last week a little bit. I got SpongeBob, and I want to talk about it.
Wait,
Now,
Chris,
before you continue, hold on. What SpongeBob are you referring to, sir?
I'm
For the
talking
people
to-
that don't know.
I'm actually talking about SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
the remake you thought you'd never get.
Oh yeah, Rehydrated.
Yep,
I don't think I was really surprised when they first announced it. But we talked
same here.
We talked small talk about it last week. Now I actually have things to say about it because I've been playing it so much.
Well, Chris, before you go on about it, can I say one thing? I
What?
watched a video yesterday on it, and apparently there's an exploit in the game that lets you beat the final boss in the first minute of the game.
Do tell. What happened?
So, if you have a keyboard and a controller, you can even do this on a Switch. So, like, as long as you have like something connected to the thing where you have two controllers, if you enter the fast travel thing, and you you call for the taxi to a place that you can go to, and then if you quickly exit out, and then go to the chum bucket where the final boss is, and call for the taxi again, at the same time on both controllers, it'll take you to the final boss, and you'll beat the game.
What?
And so the fastest speed run time currently, I think, is like 2 minutes something.
Does the double taxi kill the boss? I don't understand.
So it's a weird exploit because
Does
for
he
whatever
cease
reason,
to exist? I don't get what the actual, the manipulation, the tactic is.
so there's a fast travel system, and
Yeah.
so if you can manipulate the fast travel system in order to fast travel to the final boss, even though it's locked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So game's broken.
Wow.
I don't know.
And you can do it for any location that you haven't unlocked yet. So
I know,
Yeah.
but why would you want to rob yourself of the pleasure of fighting, I guess people who don't know, for a really old game that was recently released, SpongeBob is the final boss.
Yeah, Robot SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the cover of the
spoilers. No.
Yeah.
game. He's on the cover. It's not a spoiler.
I know, but people may
Fair
not
enough.
know. People are dumb.
You have a good point.
I figured Plankton would be the final boss. And actually, he's actually secretly the final boss. No, that's the spoiler. Sorry, guys. I kind of talked without thinking.
Well, who cares? What matters is that it's a good game. I don't care what anybody says. I recognize that it's not like fine art. It's not this masterpiece. It's not wonderfully crafted or whatever. It's a remake of a licensed game, and it's pretty much just the same game. But it's got better graphics. They fixed some of the mechanics, and they have it's just better. So it's the game that I love from my childhood, and I'm not gonna be like, you know what, it's not a great game just because SpongeBob Dream made me want to actually pull a few fingers off my own body.
Yeah, no, SpongeBob's dream is... yeah.
What was no? I think for me the hardest level was the Squidward one. I think if I recall. I remember just wanting to tear my hair
Squidward's
out.
dream? That dumb musical platforming stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Squidward's Dream is a part of the SpongeBob's Dream gauntlet that you have to go through to get the golden spatulas.
Oh, yep. That probably is it. I haven't played in a very long time, but I just remember it was such a pain in the butt.
Mr. Krabs' dream was cool.
Mr. Krabs' Dream is not cool.
It
What was
is.
that?
No, it's not.
I think Patrick's dream has more subtlety than it implies. Because it is a black empty void. And you're like, Jesus, Patrick. And you're like, where's that light coming from? And he's like, we don't talk about that.
Dude, I need to replay this game. Definitely.
Bro, you got to, man.
Yeah.
Through
No,
all
I'm
of its
definitely gonna
faults,
buy the,
overall it comes out as a good game.
Definitely gonna buy the remake. But my one problem with the remake is the graphics. I'm not sure if I like it.
But it looks better.
Does it?
I feel
Why
like
do I
it looks
feel like-
better because they're a lot clearer.
Really? Because when I remember the PS2 being a lot more crisp.
There is no such thing as a crisp looking PS2 game, Ismat. I'm gonna burst
Maybe.
your bubble right there.
Maybe, Chris. Maybe.
Actually, I have to disagree, Christopher. Silent Hill games, I believe 2 and 3 are the crispest little you could ever done see.
Those
you look
games
at it and just snaps in two. You're like, whoa, that's crisp.
Those games are literally made so that you're like, oh man, I'm in this deep, depressing place. Everything around me is dead and sad. So if
look how good it looks.
If they look the way they're intending, and you're right, they do look good.
Man, where's my Silent Hill 2 remake?
That's not coming, because Kojima...
You shut up, Christopher. Resident Evil's had all these remakes up to whatever. You know Remake 5 is coming, and they're gonna have to revisit all that racist crap about the evil black people. Yeah, people forget. That part of the game.
Speaking of remakes, though, I'm still waiting for the Destroy All Humans remake. That one I'm kind of excited for. That's such a classic game. I love it. And it's also like one of those games that like it's a hidden gem for sure.
I'm curious because for things like a Resident Evil 5 remake and a Destroy All Humans remake, those games got HD ports to the next gen consoles. So like what exactly are they doing?
That's a good question. I didn't even know Destroy All Humans had an HD remake.
It did have a port. We talked about this off the podcast, but we were talking about the Destroy All Humans remake, and I thought that it had already come out because I swore I saw Jacksepticeye play it on his channel, but what he was actually playing was the HD port to the PS4.
Huh. Interesting. I didn't even know there was one. But now I got a remake, so I'm not going to take that one. I guess they might do what they did with the Age of Empires 2. Because with Age of Empires 2, you had the HD remake, then you had the definitive edition, and then you had the I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with a 4K one, just to milk it some more.
I don't know, man. With these new consoles coming out, they're gonna have an 8K or whatever.
Probably.
Oh man, that
8K is the new thing, right?
Jesus.
8K might already exist. They're just not releasing it to the public yet, Kevin.
So Chris, anything else on the SpongeBob?
I guess if I were to give a more complete review of it, if we wanted to go into this for just a few minutes, I really enjoy... I don't know what is wrong with you, Ismat, but the graphics look great. SpongeBob is the cutest little cutie ever done seen in that game.
Nah, man, so you trying to get all up in them sandy cheeks.
I don't know, I just... Maybe it's because I'm watching a video.
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't actually played it yet, so...
Man, I was also watching a video, I think of the first couple minutes of like the story, and I had forgotten that Plankton is a complete moron and is totally at fault for all that happens in the game.
I mean, why did he leave a lever with the option to make it not obey?
Yeah, why did he have...
You know what's funny is that with all this social media stuff going on, what's the name of Plankton's computer wife?
Karen?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny. I never realized that.
Me neither. But apparently there are all these Karen memes going around, and I happen to have the pleasure of seeing a few, and I gotta tell you, they are dead on. Because we have a Karen waitress at work, and I'm like, man, she fits right into this archetype. Holy crap.
You know, I feel bad though. Now someone's gonna name their kid Karen, and for the rest of their life, they're gonna be branded with that stereotype.
It might become one of those names where like the hospital will catch you on it, and they'll be like, "No, you can't name your child this because that's child abuse."
I think there's a few names on that list.
So, anyways, SpongeBob, he looks cute. They added animations to the game, like when the characters are talking in the cutscenes, it's no longer just SpongeBob has his hand in the air and he's like, "Hey," and he's just talking. Like he'll actually emote. Yeah. He has animations. He's a cute.
Oh yeah, he would do like this high 5 motion. Yeah, I remember. And then he'd kind of just swivel in position.
And everyone was like that. They didn't really have they just had a talking animation, and that's what they would do throughout the scene. But now they actually like emote. They have animations, and I think that's a really nice touch, and I appreciate that. So aside from aesthetics and stuff like that, the game just plays better. Since it's been so long since I played the original PS2 or GameCube version, maybe I'm just getting some things wrong, but they definitely...
Let me see if I can pull up a PS2 video.
Man, I wish I had written this stuff down. But like first thing that comes to mind, throwing. Remember how you could throw fruit with Patrick? You could throw the watermelons, and it was really janky, and it was like you just had to find a place to throw it, and then you would just hope to God that you actually got it there. It's not like that in this game. They fixed it. Patrick will auto-lock onto a specific area. It has like a reticule. And if you throw it while the reticule is on something, if you press that button, there it goes. It doesn't just go anywhere. It goes where it's supposed to. It's so much easier to get stupid stuff like kelp forest or everything. I mean, Patrick is a much more usable character because they fixed the throwing mechanic.
Yes, although to be fair, the original game came out before lock-on was a thing.
That doesn't excuse it, Kevin. How dare you?
Also, it's a SpongeBob game. So they didn't think this stuff through initially. That's okay. They must have known that they were going to remake it. Or port it over or whatever.
I think I realized why I thought the PS2 was a little bit more crisp. It's because the colors are actually a lot brighter than on the Switch. Or like the newer Rehydrated
Oh yeah,
version.
like more vibrant? Like what do you mean? Like they stand out
Yeah,
more?
the colors are a little bit more light, it seems. Versus like
They do have it stick out more. It's more like a cartoon, which is what it's based on.
Yeah. I guess so. I can see it now. I think that's where I was getting my my thought, so to speak.
I guess, I just really didn't have that much to say about it other than it's still a fun game. I've seen people, like, critically pan it, but it's like, it's probably just because they didn't like the original. Because it's the same game. It's not a great game, again. And, like, they just tweak some things, and it's pretty much the same thing. But that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
I liked how Battle for Bikini Bottom is a very unique licensed game, and it's SpongeBob, and it has the SpongeBob humor, and it's just, I don't care if the reason I like it is because of nostalgia. That's why I like it, and I like it.
No, it's just it's the perfect game for a SpongeBob fan. That's what it is.
How come we never got a Sponge Out of Water video game? What's up with that?
That's a good question.
Because they stopped making movie tie-in games.
Why is that?
Probably for the best.
Because it was a bad idea.
Yeah, see, I have to disagree. SpongeBob movie license games are awesome.
Okay.
Because the entirety of SpongeBob is just one licensed movie video game. So it fits right in. So have you tried the multiplayer at all? Like, have you tried to...
I haven't tried multiplayer yet. But I'm going to. Last week, we were all able to record in the same room. This week, Ismat has to go to a relative's place after this for the stuff. So Ismat's over Discord, and then we're at this house, and me and Kevin are going to play multiplayer after this.
Oh yeah, right on.
Ooh. You gotta let me in on all the action later.
We will.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yes.
No, I gotta say, I was kind of disappointed. I thought it was like a remake that we were talking about initially, and then it was like, oh, Rehydrated. I'm like, oh, right away. Oh yeah, they just bigger boosted the graphics and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping it was gonna be like a like a Persona situation, where it's like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Golden, where they added like maybe you could play as Squidward or Mr. Krabs or so and so. Like they add one more playable character to the story, and it just completely changes everything. Because now you have this extra character in the story.
I always get these terms wrong, but it's not really a remake, it's a remaster.
Yeah, Rehydrated.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They put more juice in it.
Yeah,
because it was drying out.
But that's definitely what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh man, a remake, they're going to make it so much better. And, well, they did, because they fixed a few things, and they upped the graphics. But it's not really a remake, it's just a remastering.
What if we got a SpongeBob anime game? I'm sure everyone has seen
anime.
those videos of the anime intros for SpongeBob. Come on, world. There's someone out there who has it within them to make that happen.
If you don't know what we're talking about, look up SpongeBob Anime OP on YouTube. It is glorious.
It is, yeah. Whoever did that is a miracle worker. My goodness.
Oh, the SpongeBob anime thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, that third one does kind of take a left turn into Crazy Town, but nevertheless, they are all solid.
It's like a real anime. If you were to just watch the OPs, then like you have this like story, this setup in the first season. The second season takes a turn into some deep stuff, and then the third season is like, wait, what happened to all that other stuff before? This looks completely different.
And there's a love interest that no one saw coming.
Well, hey, speaking of anime though, guess what? Ooh, actually, I just read something new. 2 new trailers for the upcoming second season of RE0 was released today.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, you've mentioned it a couple times. 2 more trailers are out.
Oh, and it's coming out on the 8th, I think.
Of this month?
I don't know if that's August or if that's 2027 8. Is that August or July? I would think that's July 8th, right?
No, August is the 8th, so it'd be August. Because September is 9.
Oh, wait, does it go year, month, day, or does it go year, day,
List the numbers
month?
again.
2020.7.8. I don't know how. It's obviously a
this
Japanese
year,
trailer.
I mean, if I were doing it, I would put the month first and then the day. So it's either in a few days from when we're
Here we
recording
go.
this.
It confirms it down here. It starts on Japanese TV and Crunchyroll on July 8th. Oh, that's so exciting. Dude, I've been waiting for this forever, and then when it got postponed because of Corona, I was so sad. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
reading
just
the books
postponed, not canceled, so that's good. Because some stuff just up and they're like, no, we're not going to do it now.
Because I'm reading the light novels right now.
Oh, you
I'm
are?
almost done with
Okay,
the first one.
how's that going?
It's basically the anime.
Okay. Are you
But,
crying after the end of every page? Because I
well,
tell
no,
you what,
not really.
that show is an emotional roller coaster.
It is. It definitely is.
Like, man, that character's dead too? Oh, jeez.
I do love the emotions that Subaru goes throughout the
Oh, yeah,
entire
freaking
anime.
Subaru-kun. Chris, have you
yeah,
watched
no,
RE0? Starting a life in a blah blah?
No, I generally steer clear of any anime that Ismat recommends to me.
What?
Okay, well, here's your
Come on
second
now.
recommendation. So now you're like, maybe. It's about this guy. It's gets sent to the other world anime kind of crap, right? And normally you're like, because Sword Art Online ruined everybody.
Yep.
But in this one, he's like, man, I got sent to another world and I got nothing. Like, he addresses all the stereotypes, which is great.
And Kevin, he's got something. He's got that cell phone.
I think you're talking about a different anime.
No, he's got a cell phone in RE0.
We're gonna
He has a cell phone.
I don't think so.
And he uses it helps him through the first and second arc.
You say arcs, but isn't that like the first episode?
Well, no, it's like the first 2 or 3 episodes when he dies the first 3 times. So it helps him through that, and then
Wait, so if there's a season 2, that means initially the ending of the show, because we didn't know there was a season 2. Was it good or bad, Ismat? Now let's be honest.
Wait, what?
I'm saying because no one knew while going in that there was going to be a second season. So how would you say the first season ended with all knowledge of season 2 removed from your mind?
See, I rewatched it recently, so I think I rewatched it like a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
The ending was not as I remembered it, but it was a happy ending. So
Yeah, see,
and
that's
it was
not what I
open-ended.
want.
Yeah, it was open-ended and it was happy ending. But then there was also, I think what I was remembering was probably the
Oh,
the
it was
OSTs,
open-ended? Okay, yeah, see, I'll believe
or
that.
what OVA, whatever it is, original viewing, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, OVA.
So,
yeah, people know what it is.
Yeah, OVA. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I was remembering. But yeah, no, the ending was kind of happy, but it was also just open ending.
Yeah, see,
I'm
I
also
feel like
excited-
that's a problem with most that, because a lot of shows only get that one season and then that's it, so they leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
I
the
think
times the comic kept going.
Yeah, I think the light novel isn't even done yet, so because they're still on the 4th arc or 5th arc or something like that, or 6th arc. I don't even know. There's supposed to be a couple more arcs to come or something like that.
So you've read books, and can you make an approximation from book to anime-wise? How far would they be if it was a TV show, would you say?
So on the so I'm only on the first light novel, so I don't know how much it varied, through the rest. But in the first volume, it's pretty accurate, I would say. There's just a few little dialogue moments that are different, but besides that, it's pretty much the same.
Okay, but so how much would you say the first novel covers in regards to the show?
The first 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
Oh.
Basically, the first his first entrance into the world, his first 3 or 4 deaths.
All I remember is the what's her name, the blue-haired ogre chick. She's like, bro, put it in and around my butt. And he's like, no, I want that other girl that doesn't like me. And she's like, you're an
arc 2, I
idiot,
think.
main character, Kun. And I kind of stopped
I think-
watching after that because I'm like, you're right.
Yeah, no, I think that's the second arc, because the first arc is where he just enters the world.
Yeah,
and
and
he dies
he's
3
and he's
times.
stuck fighting what's her name, Bosom McGee.
Yeah, the really evil pretty girl.
Does she ever come back? Because I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure she dies, I think, right?
No, she totally gets away.
She does? Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Like, they froze her feet, and then they show. This was a great scene where they're like, how'd she escape? And then you look at her feet, and they're all messed up. And I'm like, she's like, no, I just got rid of it so I'd live. I'm like, man, dang, girl.
I
No,
could've
like it
sworn
was
I
such
thought
a
she
strong
died.
start, that show.
No, it is. It is a very strong start.
And then it's like,
And
we're gonna
throughout
make
it-
you cry, and then we're gonna make you cry some more. And you're like, no, you're not. As you wipe the tears away.
No, I just like how Subaru is he's doing his best with nothing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of just what it is. It's just your normal dude. His only power is deaf.
Nuh-uh, he learns that dumb fart gas move
Oh yeah, he does learn the
that
fart gas
everyone
move,
beats
right.
his with. Actually, he's like, it's my trump card, and they're like, what? They're like, you thought? And then every time, man.
No, what's it called? Also, Doctor Stone season 2 was announced.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 2 release for January 2021.
I've never even seen Dr. Stone. Ismat enthused me.
Oh, it's such
Man,
a
there's
great
some
show.
in
Okay,
that, in that show.
to
I
be
watched
fair,
a
though,
couple episodes.
I'll be honest. It could be a bit cringe because of the it's your regular what's it called? Like you've got your protagonist, you know. And
Imagine
he's a
Food
bit
Wars, but with just general science.
Yeah,
Oh.
the nice thing's the science. That's
Yeah.
really what the core of the show is.
So you see
It's
people
the
taking
science.
juice up the caboose,
Oh no.
and they're like, "Oh no, this chemical with this caused this to happen," and then you're like, "How, anime?"
But no, but
Yeah.
all the science in that show is real science.
Yeah, I know. That's good. And
So-
all the food
yeah,
in
that-
Food
that's
Wars
what's
is real
amazing.
food. But the
Yeah,
way
like,
they decide to show it artistically is amazing.
You're right.
Like there's the whole bit with sulfur,
Yeah.
and then you also have the whole bit with what's it called? With how to make a recording device.
Mm-hmm.
Like it blew my mind. Just making a phone, how a phone is made,
Mm-hmm.
is just amazing. It
Also,
really is.
where's the science that explains a guy could strangle a lion with his bare hand? And I say hand because he only used the one.
Okay, that's where it kind of you get
Yeah,
the
see,
over
that's
the
the
top
anime?
kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Just
Yeah,
checking.
that's the anime bit. But all the science is accurate.
Yeah, oh my god, Chris,
is really
they're like,
amazing.
oh man, we need a big bad to fight our battles for us. Oh, you've never seen the show. Okay, so
Mm.
the whole premise is for some reason people get turned to stone.
I've
then-
seen that.
Yeah, and then,
And then, like,
and then
millions
years
of years-
later, if you are
Yeah.
able to, how do you explain it? Retain
Survive.
your consciousness throughout the centuries that you were petrified, you would somehow just break out because whatever.
Well, they find out early on it isn't because you kept your consciousness awake.
Oh yeah, see, I must have.
There's
I didn't watch
actually a
as much.
chemical compound. There's a chemical compound that breaks through the stone.
I don't understand.
No, how
what
did
it
the
is.
people break out without the compound, Ismont?
No, what's his name? The main character? I forgot his name. Anyway, the main
Yeah,
character.
because everyone
he just
forgot.
happened to be in a cave, and the bat poop.
Oh yeah, the bat
just-
hit on him, and then he busted out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that's
exactly.
right. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. And so he makes a compound out of the bat crap.
Right.
and
Oh man, if we
is able
put
to,
poo on him, well, that'll get him out. And it
Yeah.
works, Chris. You're laughing over there, but that's the show.
That's pretty
It's
great.
it's such a great show.
It's pretty good
It-
now that I'm remembering and talking about it. Yeah.
It's a bit over the top and it's funny
Mhm.
and it's just it's definitely made for like a younger audience. But like no, the science is great. I really it really like blew my mind.
So, if we want to move on, we actually got a request for a topic from
Ooh,
a
okay.
friend
Oh yes.
who watches who listens to the show. Can't watch. We don't do that.
They watch in their heart.
An old friend, Gabby, who runs her own YouTube channel now. If you want to check it out, Bay Area Crypt. So she recommended that we talk about some scary games, boys.
I don't play that many scary games, but I know of a handful.
The first thing that jumps out to me is like the only scary franchise I've ever played, even mildly, and I'm still kind of excited for because it's getting a new installment. Resident Evil
I didn't even know there was
Yeah.
anyone coming out.
Village is going to be coming out for
Oh.
PS5 and Xbox Series X, I think.
That'll be interesting. Because the last one was really good too. What
Yeah,
was
I
it,
love how they kept up the little the aesthetic of the word is also the number, which is great actually. I can't I can't wait to see what they come up with for a 9. What's the dumb subtitle going to be that has the word number 9 in it?
Resident Evil Psyx. It's a crossover with Kingdom Hearts where Psyx
You
comes in.
shut your mouth, Christopher. Don't you dare speak that into reality. How dare you? No. Kingdom Hearts needs to just stay in its lane. It's Resident Evil's time now.
No, Kevin. There's going to be something else coming for Kingdom Hearts.
Is it Kingdom Hearts 4?
No,
Why didn't they learn their lesson?
because they did.
Darn.
So horror games, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
scary
horror
horror games. We touched on Dead Rising a little bit last week, so
Does that count? I would argue it does not.
It's horror based.
It's horror action
Again,
more so. I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe all the compilations of YouTubers playing it maybe has perhaps ruined my perception of the game. And for that I apologize.
It is more comedic than it's supposed to be scary, but it's about zombies.
True. I mean, there's a bunch of zombie games out there.
That feels like the only thing people do anymore. But Resident Evil was doing it first.
Because I'm really into the survival genre. I really enjoy survival games.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them happen to be zombie survival sort of things.
But since we're on the if I could cut you off for a second, sorry, Ismat, but you want to talk about Resident Evil, Chris? How many Resident Evils have you actually played?
I've played 5.
Now, see, I would argue 5 is not a horror game.
I've seen 2. I think I watched you play 2.
Yeah. Were you scared? Or were you just laughing about the terrible racism that was in the undercurrent?
Maybe I was laughing.
I was laughing too.
Whatever. I know that Resident Evil is a game. I know.
Okay.
I remember Resident Evil 4 was on the GameCube.
Oh, what a scary time, the GameCube. But a little bit more really into the horror, I like to bring up Outlast.
That's a great one.
Yeah, so great. In fact, I think I got 20 minutes in before I'm like, I'm not man enough to play this game. Now, granted,
No, I remember
I may have or may not have been under the influence, and it may have been nighttime. So
I remember watching the entire game on YouTube though. So
just little things about that game are spectacular. Like it's basically how you see it's like third person, but it's through like camera recording of the character.
It's first person camera recording, I think.
So when you see anything or get spooked, like the character, you could hear him panting and breathing heavily when he's scared. And I don't know, it's just a little subtle detail that I like that most games don't really. Actually, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard also had something similar. There was no camera, but you could still hear him be like, oh, just say little comments to himself. And I'm like, what? I like that
That's
they're
the
getting...
most recent Resident Evil game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I like that with the more recent ones, they've taken a step back from the video game-ness part of the game and have been more into the horror and more like the thriller suspense. So on that note, I believe that Village actually might be really good.
I think it will be too.
Yeah.
I mean, if it keeps like the same kind of style of 7, I think.
Yeah, I'd be down for another 7. I mean, another game, but in the style like 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I'd never played it myself, but I watched the videos and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's something that I swear somebody actually mentioned to me once about the Resident Evil games. It's like 1, 2, and 3 all had their own style and they were made a certain way. And then 4, 5, and 6 were a different style. They were more action-based and they had their own way. And then 7 and probably 8, 2 are going to be like what they are. So then 9 will be the same thing. So it's kind of like they have their genres in 3.
So you're saying 8 and 9 are going to be good games?
8 and 9 are going to be like 7, and if 7 is good, then yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd recommend playing 7. It's actually a strong game. I recommend it.
Yeah, I would recommend it too. I mean, I've watched the video, so I'm probably not going to play it myself. But yeah, I'd recommend it.
Don't worry, when we eventually get the PS5 in 2022, after it goes down from its $1,000 selling price, and then we
hold on, is it at $1,000 right now?
No, I'm just spitballing. Like,
okay.
People are more and more being like, it's probably going to be like $600 upon release, and sounds accurate to me, you know. But eventually it's going to have to go down because the more they make it, the cheaper the components get, the cheaper it'll be able to be made, and then it'll go down in price, and that's what I'm waiting for.
Speaking of horror games, though, want to know what is an excellent horror game that I wish would get a sequel? Alien Isolation. That is such a good game.
I remember that.
Oh, Ismat. Oh, you.
Oh, it's such a great game.
Because you have great games get sequels, Ismat.
No, it's honestly
saying.
The first.
Even mediocre ones get sequels.
No, Alien Isolation is just excellent. It was just it had the whole alien feel to it. It was original, an original story. Kind of, I forget if it follows Ripley or if it follows her daughter or something like that. But no, it was just it is the perfect Alien game.
Is that the game
yeah.
where you physically fight off an alien in like the first 5 minutes, or is that a different game?
I don't think you fight him. You can't kill him.
No,
You're always
there's.
running away from the alien.
Then it might be a different game, but I remember watching, and I'm like, man, this video game is so video game right now, where the character threw a couple punches and the alien screeched and then ran away.
You might be thinking of like that crappy action-based Alien game that they released quite a few years before Isolation that was on the PS3. I don't even remember what it was called, but people hated it.
You mean Colonial Marines?
Yeah.
That actually
just-
sounds like what I'm talking about. Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah, no, it was not a good game. I
Yeah,
wanted
okay.
it, and then when I heard it wasn't good, I was like, oh, never mind.
I heard it wasn't good, and then I saw it wasn't good, and I'm like, I actually
'cause
thought about
I'm-
getting it anyway, because I'm like, man, what a not good game. It might be good.
My two favorite sci-fi franchises is Predator and Alien, because I love the Xenomorph, and I love
Do you love the AVP game?
There's an AVP game.
Yeah, it's a mobile game.
Oh man, jeez.
It was on the
AVP.
Ouya.
Oh man.
AVP is a bit meh. It's just yeah. I like the original trilogy for Aliens,
Did
and then I
you-
also like the
Did you like when they put those two, the Alien and the Predator, in Mortal Kombat X? Did you like
I've
that?
never
I
played
did.
Mortal Kombat X, so
Alien was god tier right away because you couldn't block him at all. Nothing. Why does this movie character get the good stuff? But you know, that's neither here nor there.
but yeah, I love the trilogy for Alien, and I've always wanted more Predator stuff, and so they came out with the Predator game.
Ismat left, so Chris and Kevin's talked about something else.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, Christopher, but I have started a fund because I'm gonna buy that day one. The PS5, it's happening.
You're gonna start a GoFundMe to get
No,
PS5
I mean,
money?
no, maybe I should say this more articulately. No, I mean, I'm starting to set that money aside little by little. So when they're like in stores now, I'd be like, joke's on you, I already have mine.
I see people do stupid things like start GoFundMes to be like, hey, I need to buy like eggs. Can you give me like $5? And then they'll tweet it out and they'll be like, hey, can somebody give me money to go buy eggs? It's like, why? Why?
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, nothing. Back to whatever we were talking about.
No, so yeah, that new Predator game that came out,
Yeah, Hunting Grounds?
Predator Hunting Grounds. I played. So I don't know how it looks like now or how it plays now because I played in the beta. I guess.
Yeah, the beta. I hear the Berserker is the most broken of all the Predators.
It's not very. I don't like it. I'll just say that I don't like it. It's not for me. I don't know if you played what's it called, Friday the 13th. The 13th.
Yeah, it seems like one of those games where you have to have like maybe like the whole party has to be your party, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Because I've
And that's what
watched,
bothers me.
because I want to do, like I didn't want to just buy the game blind, right? Because what if it was awful? And I was watching
Yeah.
it, and I was like, man, once you get the whole group got dynamic going, man, that's a fun game. Because they'd be
definitely.
talking,
It's
and then
like
the
Friday
Predator,
the 13th, I would say.
the character that's the Predator just says, "Here I come," and then everyone freaks out because the Predator is
Yeah.
the most broken thing in that game, and I love it.
To be fair, I think it was made by the guys who made Friday the 13th.
The Friday the
Game.
13th game?
Yeah, the one where you run around as Jason and you kill all the little people that you're playing with.
Yeah, think like Dead by Daylight. There's a group of survivors, and one player is the killer.
I honestly swear that it is serious. I've seen footage of those games, and I swear it's like the Friday the 13th guys ripped off Dead by Daylight, and then Predator Hunting Grounds. It was like, let's just do the same thing again.
What if Dead by Daylight
Yeah.
was an action game? Or a first-person shooter?
Yeah.
Holy crap, yeah. Oh yeah, also, Dead by Daylight, now that we're talking, and it's a horror game, technically, I guess?
I only ever.
Yeah, technically.
I actually did play that once, back when I did have the PC in my room, and my PC isn't horrible. It's just not great, you know. But I played Dead by Daylight online for a little bit, and I was like, you know what, this game is really fun. But just like with any online gaming community,
Yeah, here it comes.
the people say things, and it just ruins the experience for you.
No, what, speaking of
Yeah.
other horror games though, because let's be real, the Predator Hunting Grounds, it's not for me. I need a party to play that, which I don't have.
Sorry
But,
that when that was happening, when the beta was happening, I just wasn't willing to pay for PlayStation Plus Also, my laptop isn't as good as my PC, so that was a problem.
That's all good. I mean, like the main problem was the stupid queue times, dude. I've never waited
Yeah?
so long to get into a game. I waited 11 minutes to get into one game.
Oh. Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
sounds like you really just need your own group of friends to play with.
It's their
Although,
system. It's broken.
at that point, why
'Cause
don't they just make it not offline cooperative play, but,
Yeah, there were a lot of people online,
Mhm.
so it should have found me like a group or whatever. But they're
all of those people were in their separate groups, probably, I imagine.
maybe. I mean, like the queue times are just broken. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with their thing. Because I've played games that are 10 years old, and I can still get into a game faster.
Oh, yeah, and they run smooth because yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah. So I was like, what the heck? But besides that, there are two other harder games I can think of. Until Dawn and
Oh, Until Dawn. Yeah.
yes, and then what's it called? Man of Medan. I don't know if you guys heard of that one.
Oh yeah,
Man of
Basically,
Medan?
Until Dawn.
The same company made that one.
The spiritual
Yeah.
successor.
Yeah, exactly. Those two are really. I love visual novel style games. So it's definitely my kind of thing.
Did that come to that was the console game too, right? Or was it just PC?
I think Man of Medan did come to PS4. Maybe.
I think it should be on everything.
Oh, it is, okay. Because I
Yeah.
started to watch
I think
streams
Until
of
Dawn
the
is the
gameplay.
PS4 exclusive.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
started to watch videos on it, but for the fear of, oh no, what if I actually get the game? So I think I've seen the intro, and that's about it. And the
Now,
ending.
sadly, I ruined
one of
Until Dawn for myself. So
Yeah?
Well, yeah.
yeah.
How? That's impossible. There are so many possibilities.
I've watched way too many videos.
Oh,
I've seen them all. Yeah.
I don't
And that's
think
because
so.
I didn't have a PS4 at the time, so I thought I'd never be able to play it. But as for Medan, I ruined half of it for myself, I guess I would say, because I watched up to like one ending.
Are you implying that there's only 2 endings to that game?
I don't know.
I believe there's
I'm,
3.
I'm implying that I finished one ending.
Cool, you ruined
Through videos.
1/3 of it for yourself.
No, there's endings,
Maybe,
but
yeah,
then
I don't
there's subtle variations within the endings.
Yeah, there are things that
Probably,
you can
yeah.
do differently, you know.
Yeah.
So let's
There was also a
knock
Blair
that
Witch
number
game
down
that
to
came out. That was
25%.
Pretty interesting.
It's funny you mentioned that Blair Witch game. I at least I may be remembering this wrong, but I remember there was a little bit of hype, and the game, like the trailer, I was like, oh man, this could be good. And then I didn't hear anything about it. So
I think I saw one video of it, and it looked pretty interesting because like the camera mechanic
Mhm.
influences the area around you.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
It's,
saw
it's
that.
a weird game. I didn't see much of it, but like it seemed interesting. I mean, Blair Witch has always been an interesting
Yeah.
franchise.
I only ever saw
Or
like
movie.
one video of it. But I did see that there was a doggy in it, and you know what? I was like, you know what? This game could be good. Just don't let that doggy die. And I don't know if the doggy died. I didn't watch more.
No,
of it.
I think that's part of the game. You're supposed to protect the doggy.
It's probably a good game because the dog dies, Christopher.
What?
No,
No,
like,
I
part
don't know
of
if
the
you know,
game
but the
is
Blair
you have
Witch,
to protect
they're-
the dog.
The people in the game and or movie and whatever get it hard every time.
No, because I know there's like
Like-
mechanics in the game where if you lose your doggy, you're very likely to lose.
What, you're like the dog is your sanity?
I
And
guess
he's like
so.
a Call of
I mean-
Cthulhu game where if he wanders off, you start seeing.
I think there's actually something like that. Yeah, if I
Is
recall.
your doggy like your blankie that keeps you safe?
Something like that. I don't recall it too well because it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the dog has a very big impact on the main character. If the dog gets lost or something.
How does the dog get lost? The dog's supposed to be better than you.
Well, no, because you can send the dog forward.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Still, it's a dog.
What was that one game where there's like a guy with a giant saw, like chainsaw? Is that the Evil Within?
Oh, like there's an enemy in Evil Within with a giant chainsaw?
Yeah. Is that the one I'm thinking of? I
I-
might be wrong.
Yeah, in either Evil Within 1 or 2, yeah, there's like a psycho chainsaw guy in it.
Because I never played it, and I remember seeing a couple of videos of it. I know it's people like it a lot because it's definitely it's a very gory game if I recall.
I've definitely heard like
Yeah.
mixed opinions on it. Like people are either like, you know what, Evil Within is like crap, and then Evil Within 2 is great, and then other people who are like, Evil Within 2 kind of regressed. Evil Within 1 is a little bit better.
Yeah,
Like, I
when
don't-
people say that, they're talking about the HD or they're talking about the port. Because that original, yes, I have to agree. Not worth your money, folks. If you didn't buy it yet, don't buy it. If you bought it, sell it. But yeah, no, I've never played one, so my opinion has no real weight. But that second one, I like it. I dig it.
Oh, here's one good PC horror game, The Forest. I don't know if you guys heard of that one.
That sounds vaguely familiar. Like, do you have a description? Can you read it?
Okay, so plane crashes and cannibals that live on the place that you crash landed to take away your son, and you got to go find your son. And it's a survival horror game. So you're just surviving in a forest.
Okay, that actually
and you're just trying to, find your son.
Give me back my son.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you choose to be like, nah, y'all can keep my son?
The plot twist is really interesting too, because
are you the son?
Oh no, it's like spoiler alert. I'm just gonna spoil the game right here.
Yeah, go for it.
Unless you guys plan on playing it. So there's a button that crash lands planes, and you're given the option to crash the next plane.
Does crashing the plane somehow save your son somehow?
You're basically sacrificing someone else for him or something
you can
like
just
that.
Be like, you can just be like Chaos, just like, you know what, I went through all this crap. Everybody else should go through this.
I forgot exactly why you do it, or what was the reasoning for having that option. But yes, there's an option where...
Oh, maybe you get to the end and the son dies, and the button is actually explained that, oh, this button will crash your plane. So if you crash the plane again, you get that second chance to save him.
Oh, maybe.
That would be cool.
I don't remember.
There's
I really don't remember.
Back when sorry, Ismat, I just gotta chime in for a second.
No, go ahead.
There was back when Redbox was the new hotness on the street, and you just rent for $1. There was one movie I happened to have the graciousness of seeing, and I believe it was called The Triangle. And the premise of the movie is that the characters of the movie are stuck in a loop. But you don't know this until the very end of the movie.
Ooh.
After they've all escaped the horribleness of the... it's a group of people who get stranded on a ship, and there's a killer on the ship somehow, or whatever. It's been about 10-some years, give or take, so I might be vague on the details. But you find out the mom of the son is actually the killer, and you're like, wait, what? How? And then the mom's the only one that survives, and she gets to land, and her piece of shit son is like, oh, I'm gonna cry, yeah, I'm a bad child, yeah. Somehow a semi-truck crashes and kills the son. How the lady survives, I don't know. But she's like, oh, I believe it's called The Triangle.
The Triangle? Okay.
And it's at that, like, you could get the whole, she's like, oh, but if I go back into the loop and start over again, I could do it different and save him.
Speaking of horror films, this isn't really...
And then you're like, oh, now it all connects.
There's this one movie I remember watching, which was really interesting. It was like a weird, I guess, what do you call it? Art film?
Art house.
What would you call it?
Art house?
But no, it was called The Circle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally just a bunch of people that stand in a circle and they pick who dies.
Why have I heard of this?
It's a really weird movie, but it was actually really good because the plot twist at the end was just makes your jaw drop.
You the circle?
Well, no.
I don't know.
If you want me to spoil it,
we're just spoiling everything in this podcast.
That's why they listen to us, so they don't have to waste their time.
Anyway, so yeah, the ending is after the guy betrays the. So basically, they're trying to decide based on ethical grounds how to, kill everyone off because only one person can survive theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, the guy betrays the last couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "I'll sacrifice myself at the end." You're like, "Don't worry, we'll let the pregnant lady escape with her baby."
No, she's pregnant with the devil. She's got to
go. And so when they kill off the third person, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the pregnant lady left and him. And then he kills off the pregnant lady.
Oh.
And so what ends up happening is, it turns out there's one extra person in the circle. And that one extra person in the circle was the baby inside the lady's tummy.
What?
Yeah. So he has to make the decision to kill the baby as well, on top of killing the pregnant lady.
Wait, but if she's pregnant, doesn't the baby die because he's still inside and codependent on his mother's life force?
Is it like they just killed her and they didn't do anything with the fetus inside her?
Well, I think it's because she's probably like on her third term. So.
Oh, so it's like, okay.
Yeah. Or
so
late
the baby has
term,
a chance at that point? Okay.
Yeah, so the baby can is viable at this point.
The baby is viable. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So therefore the baby was making decisions too.
Oh man, the baby put everyone in the circle. Oh man, what a twist.
I don't know honestly, but I
Uh,
mean theoretically, I guess if the baby was part of the game, right, and you can choose the baby, that means the baby could be choosing other people too, even though it's in the lady's tummy. But yeah, no, it was a really good movie. It was kind of like a what was the word?
Fest.
Sure, we'll call it that. I was gonna say like like an art piece kind of thing, like an indie title, whatever you call it.
oh, okay.
It's like trying to get a greater message across to you. Just like,
Yeah, exactly.
don't ever
It was-
betray
it-
the baby. Because the baby gonna come right back and murder you.
Oh, man.
It was an interesting film. I'd recommend a watch because the ending does definitely make you drop your jaw. You're like, oh crap, did not expect that to happen. But now I gotta mention the greatest horror game of all time,
Yeah.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh my god.
Man, okay, so even I have heard of Doki Doki, and unfortunately I have not had the pleasure of playing, so I'm gonna have to abstain and listen to the opinions.
I've played it.
Oh, here we
Ismat,
go.
have you played it?
Yeah, I have played it.
I think it's probably the greatest idea I think I've ever seen anyone take with a visual novel or some sort of psychological horror game.
Yeah, no, it's super short, it's super sweet,
Mhm.
and it's great.
I know we've been spoiling everything, but I really don't want to spoil this for you, Kevin.
Okay.
Because when you see it, you're like, if you experience it for yourself, it's, oh my god, it's wild.
Oh, it's such a great game. It's one of those titles that are just like it. At first, you're like, "How is this scary?" And then it hits you, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
and then
"What
you're like,
the
oh, there's the scary.
Yep, yep.
No, from all I've seen and heard, and just like how Christopher mentioned, everyone who's ever talked about it has also had the, no, we're not going to tell you what happens, but we're going to tell
Exactly.
you what happens. But you don't know, but you're like, oh man, that sounds hype. And then you're like, oh.
You just-
oh, no,
So,
my
Kevin,
heart.
I suggest after this you go and play it.
Did it ever get a console port, or is it only on the computer?
No,
It's
it's on
PC.
Steam, but it's not. It's a visual novel. It doesn't take particular.
Yeah, your
powerful
laptop
system.
should be able to run
Okay.
it. Yeah, you'll be playing around with some files. Is something I should mention
Mhm.
because I did have to do that a little bit when I played the game. I had to mess around with some stuff.
Just believe me, just do whatever you want, whatever you think is right, and just enjoy yourself in the moment. Because when you get to the end, you won't be.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
And there's a few different routes in that game too, which is nice. So I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
And one more time for those that don't know, including myself, what is the full title?
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Literature Club. Okay.
Doki is spelled D-O-K-I.
Yeah, Doki Doki. Yeah, okay.
Such a great title. But yeah, those are all the horror games I can think of at least.
Oh no, we kind of were more talking about the movies, because horror movies,
That is
man,
true.
they've had time to put the work in.
Horror movies drive me up the wall because so many horror movies are just bad as movies, yet they have them concepts that really just reel me in. It's like, man, why do you have to entice me with this good premise and then this movie is just sort of eh? Like, how dare you do this to me?
Have you ever
Purge?
watched The Cabin in the Woods?
You know what? That's a pretty good movie.
It's comedy horror technically because it's meant to make fun of horror movies.
I think I've only ever seen parodies of Cabin in the Woods, and I gotta say I like
but
what I saw.
it's such a great movie. It's only great because they're making fun of horror movies, and I wish it was its own horror movie, but it isn't.
I think
it's like it's a
I think it's a shame that once you know the twist, then there's really, like, just watching it over again, it's like there's nothing there for you after you've watched it the first time and you get it.
yeah. I hated the ending. That's because I really want it to be its own thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending is just stupid.
No.
But all the way up to that point, it was pretty dang good.
Hey, how come, just side note on horror movies and games and whatever, why wasn't there ever a Freddy vs. Jason video game?
I feel like there was. When
Oh,
did
what?
that movie come out?
Probably before video tie-in games were successful.
Freddy Krueger, you mean?
Yeah.
I feel like
let me Google
somebody would have gone back to that premise and made like a shovelware game for the Wii, Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, but like, what if if they were to make like a sequel to Friday the 13th, right? But it'd just be Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, here you go. I got you one, Kevin.
Yeah.
There's a Freddy Krueger video game,
Oh,
and it's a
that's
fighting
not-
game.
That's
not what I
hilarious.
It
No, I'm
was.
talking about. I think it'd be like Friday the 13th in the sense you'd have their
It's
survivors.
literally called A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was released 1989 on the NES.
Oh yeah, see, I've seen that. That's
And
not
there
what
was
I want.
one on the DOS on the Commodore 64. There's a browser game that was made
Man,
in
there's a
2010.
boss fight in the I think in the SNES game where Freddy. Oh man, I'm just cursing all over. But Freddy becomes just like a big tentacle arm, and I'm like Jesus. Oh man.
And
then I
Kevin,
saw
he
the
is in Mortal
movie
Kombat.
where he became a tentacle arm, and I'm like, oh, so I forgave the game after that. Thought it was a dumb
Okay, so-
video game thing, but it's like, no, this happened. I'm like, oh.
So he's in Mortal Kombat 2011.
Yeah, in
Hey.
MK9, I believe.
Yeah, and then he's also in Family Guy: The Quest for Stuff on your
That doesn't
Android
count.
or iOS.
Nobody ever talk
on-
about Family Guy again.
Oh, here you go. Here's the game that I was talking about just a moment ago. Terror Drome: Rise of the Boogeyman.
Oh,
And it's just another fighting game.
I believe I watched some YouTubers play that super illegal Halloween fighting game.
Really?
Yeah, because I believe it was just some guy that just ripped the models and didn't pay for nothing.
Oh, I
And
see.
that game was actually
Like
on the
that game.
down low for a little bit because of its illicit, illegal activity and production.
Oh yeah, Kevin. He's also in Dead by Daylight. There you go.
He sure is. And his mechanic is dumb and hard to use. Because it's like, you
No.
have to get the survivor to fall asleep first, and then you gotta kill him. But it's like, no, you gotta find him first, so I gotta kill him twice? Like, no. Like,
But you know, why is there no Freddy Krueger game? That is a very good question. Besides the one that was made in 1989.
Maybe the next
On
time
the
they
DOS.
remake. Maybe the next time they remake Nightmare on Elm Street. Who knows?
Mhm.
They've been
With
going
Johnny
around. They've been running the circuit. We got a Halloween remake recently, or like a sequel, reboot, sequel. I didn't really get that one.
I think it was
Yeah, I mean-
actually a sequel because they were old and it was in real time. And it was like, oh, after all those other movies happened and we managed to arrest him and not kill him, because why would we kill this mass murderer, whatever.
Well, to be fair, I think the main issue is probably the licensing. Who owns the license for Nightmare on Elm Street?
I have no idea.
Yeah, come on, clickety clack. But no, speaking of a way
Okay.
better
Oh,
killer
Warner
in
Brothers.
Dead by
Warner Brothers
Daylight,
owns it.
they just added Silent Hill 3 characters.
A Pyramid Head?
Yeah, Pyramid Head is great, and he's bull.
I heard Pyramid Head had a thick ass on him. And then
He
there was-
does. You heard correct. He has this move. It's like a ground wave where he just sticks his knife in the ground. And it ignores all geometry of the video game. I've seen some dumb shenanigans pulled off with this move to the point where maybe I should learn to be a killer. I mean, a video game, at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, it's currently owned by Warner Brothers. So.
Mm.
I had a feeling it was owned by
Yeah.
some awful studio.
Hey, they do make some games. They made the, what's it called? Middle Earth games. The Shadow of Mordor
Okay, I'll give
and
you
Shadow
that.
War.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
And they do make the Arkham games too.
Well, they license them to companies who
Well,
can
yeah.
make a good game.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. But you know what I meant.
Anyways, now that we have closer on that point, it's about time that we start wrapping up, boys. Any last words?
I'm really excited for SpongeBob Rehydrated.
Yeah.
I've been playing the Persona 4 Golden, so that's probably what I'm gonna do,
Yeah,
For a little
Persona
bit.
4 Golden. Why?
and then get
man,
ready to go.
Why does Atlas hate money? Man.
I'm waiting for that Persona. Supposedly Persona 6 might come out in a few years, maybe. There's rumors.
Man, okay. They better port over Persona 5 first. And then, like, at the end of the ported version, there's a Persona 6 teaser. And then that just has everyone creaming in their jeans.
No, you know what?
Creaming in their jeans, Christopher.
You know what, actually? I find that we finally got official confirmation on this. It feels like the entirety of this podcast has been leading up to what is going to happen with the PS5. And I think we did get hard confirmation. PS4 games will be playable on PS5.
Actually, I've also looked into this. It's going to be the top 100 PS4 games.
No, I
And
just
then they're
saw
looking-
recently that they were like, yes. They were like, do it.
Well, that's good news.
I
Yeah.
don't believe you because that gives me hope. Is there an article you could show me? Like, shoot.
I could show you the article once I get my phone and after we wrap up. Anyways.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We're not gonna...
Yeah, we're taking a break next week.
Yeah, next week, I'm going on
Oh, yeah,
vacation.
next week.
So no podcast next week. But when we come back, we might do something a little different. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll talk about a topic that's a little different. I don't know. You'll have to see for yourself. Stay tuned, everybody.